Labour's deal with train drivers was the first step in the government's plan to fix Britain's broken railways, Transport Secretary Louise Haigh said today. And she urged union leaders and employers to get around the table after more industrial action was announced over LNER services. She said resetting industrial relations had been a priority, and slammed her Tory predecessors for grandstanding and refusing to negotiate. The deal put forward this week, if agreed by members of the USLF union, looks set to bring to an end the long-running pay dispute between the government and train drivers. Ms. Haigh said the 2 years of national strikes had lost the wider economy more than £1 billion, dramatically more than the cost of the new pay deal. She wrote, "None of this was inevitable. It was down to the political choices made by the Conservatives. Instead of constructive talks, they grandstanded and refused to negotiate. Instead of compromise, they provoked, dragging national disputes longer than needed. Instead of the public interest, they chose self-interest. It was a shocking dereliction of duty that left passengers and taxpayers to pay the price." On Friday, the union announced further strike action by its members over a local dispute with one train operator, LNER, about working practices, not pay. "I've made my frustrations clear to both parties and my message is simple," Ms. Haigh wrote. "Follow this government's lead, urgently get around the table, negotiate in good faith and stop this action before it starts." The Department for Transport, DFT, estimates the lost revenue due to the strikes since June 2022 has totaled around £850 million, describing it as a debilitating amount for the industry and a huge burden on the taxpayer. Accounting for additional impacts of strikes, including those because of people being unable to work, or potential reductions in spending on hospitality and retail, the total impact likely exceeds £1 billion. In the financial year of 2022-23 alone, strike action was estimated to cost more than £500 million of economic output thanks to people not being able to work, the DFT said. Train drivers working for LNER, which runs the passenger service on the East Coast Main Line between London and Edinburgh, will walk out on weekends from the end of August in a dispute about working agreements. Ms. Haigh said the forthcoming launch of Great British Railways, a government-owned company overseeing train transport across the country, would be the biggest shake-up of our railways in a generation. She wrote, "We cannot afford to continue the cynical approach of the Conservatives, which treated rail workers as a political football and led to the longest-ever national strike because they had no plan to fix our railways. That simply drained public trust, something this government is now urgently trying to fix." She added, "I want a railway we can all be proud of. One that drives economic growth, that attracts investment and creates jobs, and that works for passengers, wherever they live. That's my mission, and I'm wasting no time."